Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Obese to Fit with Parkinson's. My name is Ryan Lineker, and today I'm going to cover a topic that I had mentioned it in the very first video that I posted, and it was in the October 2022 slide, and it covered, or it stated that I had done my first men's devotional at men's prayer breakfast on Thursday mornings. So today I wanted to cover that and kind of elaborate a little bit on what verse it was, why I did it, and a little bit of the background of that, because that was a very big moment in my life. I haven't been one to talk openly about Christ the way I feel comfortable with. And it's not, there's an intimidation factor to begin with for me. And so when you're in a setting with folks that are very seasoned in scripture, to me it's very intimidating. But I got to thinking, and I talked to my pastor, and it's not, see, I was worried about me. It's not about me. It's about glorification of God. So that was the big hurdle there, was the intimidation. So I have a few notes here that I wanted to share. The devotional was on the first verse that I learned when I was 10 years old at church camp. And it's Proverbs 14:34, and I learned the Good News Bible version. Righteousness makes a nation great, but a sin is disgrace to any nation. And the one that I covered was the English Standard Version, which is, I don't have that one memorized. I just know the Good News Bible version. But the one I covered was righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. So what I did was I parsed it, meaning I took it word by word, and for me to get a better understanding. Little did I know that 34 years later I would be giving a devotional on to me at that time was just words on a paper. But now I understand how significant that verse has become in my life, and in this learning to try to read a verse word by word. I don't know if that's the correct way to do it, but I didn't know some of the words in that verse. So I broke it down by word, and righteousness means morally right or justifiable. In that definition, I took moral out. It's knowing right, essentially knowing right or wrong, good versus bad. The next word I extrapolated or took out of that verse was exalt, which is hold in high regard, lift up, or prosper. Next was sin. It's an immoral act against divine law. And in that is divine, which means of, from, or like God. Next word was reproach, which is disappointment or displeasure with a person for conduct that is blameworthy. And then the people it's regarding is a group with the same belief system. So when I took that out and combined all those definitions, this is what I came up with. I'm not trying to rewrite scripture by any means, but for me, this is what made sense for me. And I spoke to several of the gentlemen afterwards, and it was just great encouragement by these guys. They know I've been in church throughout my life, on and on. It's been an ebb and flow type thing. And I got out of it for quite a few years. And so these guys are so encouraging to me. It's a joyful time for me Thursday mornings to meet with these guys. I'm the youngest by several years. Just good, wholehearted men. They know their true heart. God knows their true heart. From the surface, to me, I love them and appreciate all their support that they've shown to me. I wanted to share the verse as how I wrote it out. So to me, that made sense was the morally right or justifiable are held in high regard. So prosperity can begin with the knowledge of right or wrong or good versus bad within groups sharing the same belief system. But sin, an immoral act against divine law, God's law, causes disappointment or displeasure with a people for the conduct that is blameworthy. So if one person is, this was my explanation towards the end to summarize everything. So one person that is doing something wrong can infect other people around them. So let's say there's two people around you. So the things you're doing that are wrong, or the things that I do that are wrong, could infect those two people. And in regards, they can affect two people each. So now we're at seven people. And then it just grows exponentially. But another thing that I thought about was good things that people do. So I don't want it to be completely negative. The verse talks about being sinful as being disgraceful to a nation. But I think also good things work that same way to a degree. So if one person is doing something good and you're showing two people the good thing that you're doing, or the thing that they see you doing, they might go ahead and talk to two people each. And then those people might go tell two people each. And it grows exponentially that way too. So it was probably about 15 to 20 minutes. I have some other things that I discussed with them, but that was the main thing I wanted to talk to you about. Was the verse I learned was Proverbs 14:34. Righteousness makes a nation great, but sin is a disgrace to any nation. And that was my first devotional, and it was just it was rewarding, because if I can help edify or teach scripture to others, if I'm going to be doing that, I need to have a good understanding myself of it. So that was the very first verse that I learned back when I was 10 years old. The next series I want to do, the next devotional, and I'm going to talk about it here on the channel in a few episodes. I'm going to be doing that devotional in probably a week. I talked to the pastor today about it. It's going to be about gossip and lies, and kind of how that affects people and the audience that you're speaking to, or the setting you might be in which and I'm guilty of that. Don't get me wrong, I am super guilty of that sin, and I've tried to be more mindful of it. So I've gotten a lot better. It's easier to hear it when other people are doing it, but when you're doing it, sometimes, or when I'm doing it, I don't realize it. I want to be called out on it, because I don't want that within me. So anyway, I appreciate everything. Had a great workout today. I went to the gym and I tried some new exercises that I hadn't ever done before. I saw them on TV. on YouTube. Just some simple exercises for movement for me. I might do a video on that and share some of those also. I know that's off topic, but anyway, that's what I had done today. I went to the gym, did my men's prayer breakfast, came home, did my morning exercises, and now I'm doing the video here, and it's just awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And the journey is long. It's very prosperous in terms of glorifying, and just I'm so grateful.